With cameras known to exist almost everywhere, they often tend to capture moments that are completely unthought of. In today's video, we will see mysterious and other creepy encounters that were complete, caught unexpectedly, that were never meant to be caught on camera.
Oh, no manches. Oh, no manches. Ceci!
A local was walking down the road when he saw a woman stood on the roadside wearing a long coat and pushing a hand carry. But something was wrong. She had no head. Yes, you heard it right. She was headless. It didn't make any sense. Legends say headless spirits belong to those who met violent ends, unable to find peace. Similar sightings have been reported. A group at Sydney Central Station saw a headless woman across the tracks. She wasn't a mannequin. She moved. In Singapore, a boy filmed a headless man on the street. Some say these figures are trapped spirits. Others believe they are something far beyond explanation. "3 a.m. terror."
Son las 3 de la mañana, gente.
Every night at 3 a.m., a couple in Mexico was disturbed by something unsettling. Loud, relentless knocking echoed from their window, waking them up in fear.
Tal vez no.
One night, the man decided to check. As he approached, he caught a glimpse of a pale, eerie face staring through the glass. His heart pounded, but he stepped outside to see who or what it was. Behind a vehicle, something was lurking. Its face wasn't human. It had a haunting, unnatural look, something that resembled a rake or a ghostly being. The sight sent a chill through him. Without wasting a second, he ran back inside and locked the doors.
Oh, no manches. Oh, no manches. Ceci!
White roadside figure. A driver was heading home through an abandoned road when he saw something standing by the roadside. It sent a chill down his spine. As he got closer, he saw a tall figure dressed in white. At that hour, no normal person could be expected there. He kept driving, not wanting to stop, but the sight stayed with him. It was later said that he mysteriously vanished after that night. Locals claimed the figure had been seen many times before. A ghostly lady who passed away on that very road. Some suggested she trapped those who crossed her path, never to be seen again. Ghost passenger recorded. A taxi driver was out looking for passengers, unaware that he already had one. A figure with long hair sat silently in the back seat. It appeared out of nowhere, just sitting there watching him. The driver, focused on the road, didn't notice anything unusual, but later, when he checked the dash camera, the truth hit him. Clear as day, the eerie passenger was right there the whole time. It might be a djinn, known to frighten drivers and cause mishaps. After seeing the footage, one thing was certain: he would never drive alone again. Silent woman filmed. A man was driving past a house when he noticed something unusual. He stopped, feeling drawn to a strange figure standing beside the house. Curious, he took out his phone and started recording. A woman dressed in white with long hair stood motionless in the darkness. The figure resembled a kuntalan, a spirit known in many legends. He kept recording, but then the video cut off abruptly. What happened next remained unknown. People were convinced the spirit had taken him away, leaving his family searching for answers they might never find. Shadowy figure spotted. A CCTV camera overlooking a building's driveway captured something unsettling. Cars were parked, everything seemed normal, until one worker was seen standing near a truck. Out of nowhere, a shadowy figure rushed into the frame, moving unnaturally fast before disappearing behind the truck. The worker didn't react, completely unaware of what had just happened. It might be a wraith or a djinn, lurking in the shadows, watching. Maybe it had come for the worker, or had already taken him. Vanishing camp victim.
This thing is, or when it's gonna.
The woods at night seemed peaceful, but they held mysteries not meant to be uncovered. A group of campers wandered through the trees when they spotted someone ahead in the darkness. It was their friend, or so they thought. They spoke to him, unaware of what was creeping up behind. Out of nowhere, a tall white creature rushed forward and took him away in an instant. Panic set in as they ran toward the spot, searching desperately, but he was gone, as if he had never been there. Some whispered about skinwalkers, once thought to be just myths, but that night myths felt more real than ever.
Your call has been forwarded to
White lady charges. A local was driving down an abandoned road when something stepped in front of his car, forcing him to stop. A lady dressed in all white, her face covered with long hair, stood there, holding a stick. She started walking toward the car. The man panicked and began reversing, but then she suddenly threw the stick aside and charged straight at him. The video ended abruptly. No one knows what happened next, but one thing was certain. She wasn't normal. A witch, perhaps. Maybe that road wasn't just abandoned. Maybe others had seen her before and knew better than to take that path. Red-eyed shadow.
Bro.
In a boys' hostel room, a group was having fun when they noticed something strange. A black humanoid figure with glowing red eyes walked down the stairs of the bunk bed.
Dude, that's fucking scary. What?
At first, they thought it was a prank, maybe one of their friends messing with them, but as it moved closer, they realized it wasn't. Fear took over as the being approached, and the clip ended abruptly. Later, when they checked the recording, there was nothing there. The figure had completely vanished. That was enough for them. They didn't want to stay there any longer. Some switched rooms, while others considered leaving the hostel altogether.
Dude, that's fucking scary. What
Okay.
Face and wall. A lady was washing clothes in the washing area when she felt a strange presence. She looked up and froze. There, in the corner of a wall hole, a creepy face stared back at her. Her heart pounded as she rushed to check the other side, but no one was there. Yet she was sure of what she saw. It wasn't her imagination. After that day, she started noticing more strange sightings around the house. Shadows moving, whispers in empty rooms. Whatever it wasn't leaving her alone. Unable to take it anymore, she made a decision. She packed her things and left the house for good. Kuntilanak on roof. An Arab man saw a terrifying sight one night on the roof of a prayer room. A lady in white with messy hair sat completely still. At first it seemed like someone possessed by a jinn, but then he realized it was a kuntilanak. Legends say she is the spirit of a woman who passed away during childbirth, wandering in search of revenge. She didn't move, but her presence felt unsettling. The man stood frozen, unsure whether to run or keep watching. Without wasting a second, he thought of calling a priest, hoping to get rid of it. Glowing eyes. A group of boys was in the woods when they saw something unsettling. Skinny creatures with glowing eyes stood among the trees, unmoving, just watching. There weren't just one or two. There were many, as if an entire family lived there. The boys had brought tools to protect themselves, but seeing those creatures made them question if they were enough. They slowly stepped back, trying not to make any sudden moves. The deeper they looked into the woods, the more pairs of glowing eyes they saw. On the outside, they kept their stillness, but deep down, fear had already taken over. Long-necked horror. Late at night, a woman was woken up by strange noises coming from the stairs. Thinking it might be a ghost, she decided to check. But what she saw on the security camera was far worse. A long, thin-necked creature moved in the dark, its body stretching endlessly like a snake. It wasn't human, and it didn't seem like any animal she knew. This matched the description of Long Horse, a well-known urban legend. Fear took over. She ran back to her room and locked the door. Dark figure watching.
Nana, what is that?
A couple was driving through a wooded path when their car broke down. As they stepped out to check, they noticed something lurking behind a tree.
What is that?
What?
It's behind that tree.
A dark figure peeking at them, watching their every move. It didn't look human. Its shape resembled a ghostly presence, and the way it moved sent chills down their spines. Then, a strange sound echoed through the trees, almost like a warning, telling them to leave. The couple didn't wait to find out what it was. They decided to rush back into the car, desperately trying to restart it. Dancing Lady Terror. A resident stepped outside for a walk when he noticed a lady standing in the middle of the road. At first it seemed normal, but then he saw her movements. She was dancing in a strange and unsettling way. She moved unnaturally, almost as if controlled by an unseen force. Suddenly she stopped. Her head snapped toward him, and before he could react, she rushed straight at him. She resembled the infamous Serbian dancing lady, a spirit said to bring misfortune to those who watch her. People believe that anyone who stops to see her dance meets a tragic fate. And that man, he made the mistake of watching. What happened next remains unknown. Red Bride's Curse. A video uploaded online went viral for a chilling reason. It showed a villager out for a final walk at night when he spotted someone dressed in all red walking ahead. Looked like a lady. He quietly followed, making no sound, probably curious about who she was. But after that night, the villager was never seen again. His family searched, but there was no sign of him. People claimed she was the spirit of a bride who passed away on that road. Now she wandered there every night in that red dress, luring anyone who crossed her path. Those who followed her were never meant to return, as if she took them to the world beyond. Roadside Witch Sighting.
Baru kali ini, men.
Just when you thought the creepy sightings were over, another one surfaced. A local was walking down the street at night when he spotted someone standing far away. The figure was dressed in white and remained completely still, not moving an inch. It was probably a witch, the kind said to haunt roads while waiting for a victim. He quickly turned to leave, but he couldn't shake the feeling that someone was chasing him.
Sa kuburan.
The Witch's Ritual. A live footage began like any ordinary night, but then an unexplainable movement caught the camera's eye outside a building entrance in South Africa. It captured someone dressed in white, appearing out of nowhere, holding a broom. Strangely, the figure moved in an unusual way, almost like performing a ritual. It didn't seem normal. We know who carries a broom, right? A witch. But later, many people reported seeing the same figure again, always at night. Some even started avoiding the area after dark. The Faceless Passenger. In Delhi, a bus had finished its route, dropping off all passengers, except for one. A woman sat quietly, her face hidden beneath a cloth. The driver asked where she wanted to go, but she didn't respond normally. Something felt off. As time passed, he finally saw what was wrong. She had no face, just darkness where it should have been. Fear took over, and he rushed to call the police. But when they returned to check, the bus was empty. No sign of the woman, no trace she was ever there. Was she a ghost? It sure seemed like it. Some say the driver never took late night shifts again after that night. The Vanishing Moose. On the roadside near the woods, a driver saw something that made him look twice. A humanoid figure stood near a moose, watching silently. The animal kept eating, unaware of the eerie presence spying on it. The figure had no face and moved unnaturally. It resembled the urban legend known as the rake. The sight alone was unsettling, but what followed was even stranger. Rumors spread that after that night, the moose mysteriously vanished. No tracks, no signs, just gone. Some believe the creature took it as prey, leaving behind nothing but an eerie story that still lingers in the area. The Pale Stalker. A security camera in Kentucky captured a sight that left viewers unsettled. The footage showed something moving near a car, thin, pale, and shifting in an unnatural way. At first it almost looked like a person, but the way it moved said otherwise. Its legs bent oddly, its body hunched, and with each step it seemed more unnatural. The shape became clearer, its ribs visible, its frame too thin to be human. Some compared it to the pale crawlers from urban legends. Others believed it was a wandering spirit tied to a tragic past.
You see his face clearly, right there.
The ghostly flight. At Phuket Airport in Thailand, a strange sight was caught on camera, leaving internet viewers unsettled. The footage showed an empty passenger bridge leading to nowhere. No plane in sight, nothing connected to it. But then, shadowy figures appeared, moving along the passageway. They seemed like passengers rushing toward an invisible flight. The video quickly went viral, sparking all kinds of theories. But with no clear answer, one question remained. If there was no plane, then where were those passengers going? Shadow on roof. During the Day of the Dead artistic event, celebrations filled the church. Everything seemed normal until someone noticed a shadowy figure moving across the roof. It wasn't part of the decorations and it didn't look like any person. The way it moved sent goosebumps to those who saw it. Some believed it could have been a spirit drawn to the event meant to honor the departed. Maybe through the rituals and offerings, they had unknowingly invited something back. Whatever it was, it didn't stay long, vanishing as mysteriously as it appeared. Ring camera figure. A Ring camera captured something strange outside a house. At first, it looked like someone hidden under a black cloth, standing still as if trying to stay unnoticed. It gave off an eerie feeling, almost like a ghost, but it wasn't. When the cloth shifted slightly, the face beneath was revealed. A bizarre skull, large eyes, nothing human about it. The description matched exactly what people say aliens look like. Not long after, the house owner mysteriously disappeared. Some believe it was a coincidence, but others are sure. This was no ordinary sighting. It was an abduction. Shape-shifting dogman caught. A woman from Reynosa, Mexico shared a video from her home security camera that left many unsettled. It first showed what appeared to be a normal dog running outside, until, midway, its form shifted. In an instant, it stood tall, taking on the shape of something far from an ordinary animal. The transformation seemed impossible, yet it was caught on camera. Some believe she captured the legendary Nahual, a being known in folklore for shape-shifting into its spirit animal. One thing is certain, the footage was enough to make people question what truly exists in the shadows. Fiery giant appears. Something terrifying was seen on the road, and it wasn't just any ordinary sight. A local witnessed a giant figure made entirely of fire, moving forward, leaving a trail of fiery smoke behind. It looked as if it had risen straight from molten lava. Some suggested it was connected to beings like Surt or Ifrit, known for their fiery nature. But seeing something like this wasn't just rare. It felt like a warning. Maybe it was a sign of something coming, something no one was ready for. Frozen bird mystery.
Jam also continues to its pride, and traffic is still moving.
Traffic came to a halt, but not because of a signal. A bird was seen in the air, but it wasn't flying. It was completely still, frozen in place. People stopped to watch, confused. The bird wasn't falling, just hanging there as if stuck in time. Experts arrived, using a long pole to make it move, but nothing changed. Rumors suggested it was a glitch in the Matrix. Others thought a witch's spell had trapped it. Maybe it returned to normal later, but those who witnessed it wouldn't forget what they saw. Moving tricycle mystery. Just when it seemed like the eerie sightings had stopped, another one surfaced. A homeowner glanced outside and saw something that didn't make sense. A tricycle moving on its own. No one was there, no push, no wind strong enough to explain it, yet it rolled down the street as if someone was steering it. Whispers spread through the neighborhood. The tricycle once belonged to a child who was no longer around. People started believing it wasn't just the wind, but the child's restless spirit trying to find its way back home. Glowing eyes watching. In the snowy wilderness of Russia, a tourist's jeep broke down, leaving him stranded in the freezing cold. As he looked around for help, he spotted something sitting eerily still in the distance. It had glowing white eyes, unblinking, locked onto him. The longer he stared, the more unsettling it became. A rake? That's exactly what it resembled. The tourist didn't wait to find out. Instead of fixing his jeep, he turned and left as fast as he could, unwilling to risk what might happen if he stayed any longer. Witch on rooftop. Northern Mexico became the center of attention after locals spotted something unsettling on a house's roof. At first they thought it was just a thief, but no. This figure, dressed in black, refused to leave. No matter what they did, it stayed there, unmoving, as if performing some eerie ritual. Whispers spread. It wasn't a person, but a witch. Authorities soon stepped in, ordering the house and area to be sealed off. Until things returned to normal, people were warned to stay away. Haunted store chaos. Back in 2007, a CCTV camera inside a deli store in Connecticut captured a sight straight out of a horror movie. The store was empty when, out of nowhere, things started moving. First, the chairs shifted on their own, then items from the shelves began falling. The whole scene felt unnatural, as if something unseen was at play. Rumors spread that the store was built over a cemetery and the spirits never left. Teleporting dog mystery. That night, a surveillance camera captured something that left people baffled. In front of a house, a dog stood still, nothing unusual, until it wasn't there anymore. Within seconds, it reappeared on the other side of the fence, as if it had been teleported. There was no sign of movement, no jump, nothing that could explain it. People started speculating. Could it be an alien abduction? Maybe the aliens intended to take a human, but mistakenly captured the dog, only to return it seconds later. Lake creatures emerge. On February 4th, 2024, a camera set at a lake recorded a scene straight out of a horror movie. Two heads emerged from the water, their glowing white eyes cutting through the darkness. Many people witnessed this eerie sight, and fear quickly spread among the nearby residents. They were convinced these were no ordinary creatures, but ghostly beings or something far more sinister. In lakes, people might expect to see sea creatures, but this was beyond anything they imagined. As panic grew, the authorities stepped in, sealing off the lake until further investigation. Flying shadow entity. A street camera recorded a scene that left people unsettled. At first, everything seemed normal, but then a black shadowy figure was seen flying through the air. It moved swiftly and entered someone's window before vanishing. It appeared to be a kuyang, a creature known in folklore. Something red was visible on it, which many believed were its exposed organs. Later, rumors spread that the resident of the house it entered had mysteriously disappeared. After that, people in the area started locking their doors and windows, fearing they could be next. Mysterious street figure. At 3 a.m., a mysterious humanoid figure stood on a quiet street, partially hidden in the darkness. Its identity remained unknown, blending eerily into the night and creating an unsettling scene. This eerie moment was captured on video by a woman named Jet at her job site. The figure's appearance sparked speculation. Some believed it could be a duende, an elf, or another cryptid. Whatever it was, its presence at that hour raised many questions. The video spread quickly, leaving those who watched it wondering if similar beings lurked in the shadows, unseen by most. Cave ritual encounter. An explorer was searching for ancient artifacts in a rocky site when he saw something unexpected. A figure completely covered in a black gown sat still. The moment it noticed him, it moved quickly into a nearby cave. Curious, the explorer followed. Inside, the figure stood holding a stick, seemingly performing a strange ritual. It even spoke as if warning him to leave. Suddenly, a mysterious light appeared deeper in the cave. The explorer turned to look, but when he turned back, the figure was gone, vanished without a trace. Crawling Appalachian creatures. In 2024, deep in the Appalachian Mountains, a trail camera was set up to capture wildlife. Instead, it recorded something far more unsettling. Two skinny beings crawled across the ground, moving in an unnatural way. One of them even held something in its mouth, resembling prey. Later, they were seen standing, staring directly at the camera, their presence eerie and unexplainable. These figures match descriptions of skinwalkers from old legends. When the hunter checks the footage, he might realize how lucky he was that only his camera was there, because if he had been present, the outcome could have been very different. Eyes on rooftop. In 2024, a group of boys planned to explore an old haunted house. They stood at the front ready to enter when something stopped them. A creature with long limbs and glowing white eyes was on the roof watching them. Its eerie presence made them step back, fear creeping in. It could have been a skinwalker or a rake-like creature, something not meant to be seen. They quickly abandoned their plan, realizing that whatever was inside the house was nothing compared to what was already outside. Without hesitation, they turned away and left before it was too late. Skinwalkers after dark. On October 6, 2024, a clip started circulating online, showing a chilling scene from a rural area. A farmer's vehicle was stuck in the sand when strange figures appeared. Thin, humanoid creatures with long limbs emerged from the darkness, moving unnaturally. The sight alone was enough to send fear through those watching. Their eerie appearance resembled skinwalkers, matching the descriptions from old stories. The villagers didn't wait to find out what they were. Overcome with fear, they ran away, leaving the vehicle behind. Footprints of fear. In Russia, a homeowner kept sensing a strange presence in his house. Determined to find out what was behind it, he spread white powder outside a door where he often felt an eerie energy. Later that night, the door creaked open on its own. When he checked, he saw fresh footprints on the stairs, leading straight to one room. It became clear that something unseen had walked through. Whether it was a spirit or something far worse, he didn't wait to find out. Without hesitation, he packed his things and left the house for good. The Soul Collector. At 3 a.m., a bizarre creature entered a local's house. Its skull and face looked unnatural, its black body stretched with disturbingly long arms and legs. It crawled like a spider, moving through the hallway with eerie silence. A security camera caught everything. It didn't wander aimlessly. It had a destination, a patient's room. As it crept closer, a black, venomous-looking substance discharged from its mouth, as if it came to take his soul. The rest of the house remained undisturbed, the others sleeping peacefully, unaware of the nightmare unfolding. By morning, they would wake up to a terrifying shock. We hoped that the patient might be fine. The Forest Lurker. Some hikers were enjoying their time in the woods when one of them noticed something that sent a chill down his spine. A white figure moved in the distance, crawling, fast and unnatural. Its long limbs stretched as it passed through the trees, disappearing just as quickly as it appeared. They froze, their minds racing. It looked just like the creature from urban legends, the rake. Fear settled in, and they decided to leave immediately. But even as they walked away, a heavy feeling lingered, like something was still there, watching, following. Vanishing Night Predator. Late at night, villagers heard strange noises and stepped outside to check. What they saw left them frozen in fear. A creature with bizarre horns, large black eyes, and a sinister smile was bent over someone on the ground, feeding. The villagers shouted, trying to drive it away. It suddenly vanished, taking whatever it was feeding on with it. Rumors had been spreading about a reptilian being lurking in the area, preying on humans. That night, they saw it with their own eyes. It disappeared into the darkness, but who knows when it might return. The Crawling Terror. In a village, a farmer spotted something crawling in the fields. At first, he thought it was just an animal, but as he looked closer, he realized it was something else. Something terrifying. A pale, thin creature moved unnaturally, its body twisting in ways no normal being should. It didn't belong there. Some might call it a skinwalker, others a rake, but whatever it wasn't human. The moment it noticed him, it turned and crawled away into the darkness. The farmer ran too, but the image stayed with him. Creatures like that don't just disappear. He couldn't help but wonder, was it really gone or just waiting to return? Open discussion. A CCTV camera captured something strange in a quiet neighborhood. A woman was seen in the garden, moving in an odd way. Her steps were unsteady, almost as if she was possessed or not in control of her body. For a moment, it even seemed like she wasn't human at all, just a ghostly figure swaying in the dark. People who saw the footage believed it could be a spirit wandering the area, but as the video continued, the truth became clear. She wasn't possessed. She was just a drunk woman struggling to reach her front door. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.